Hello everyone. Good morning for me anyway. Getting the day kicked off. Weather's still a little cool this morning, but it is what it is. Was reading my devotional this morning, and God put something else on my heart for some reason this morning. I guess because someone needed to hear it. Maybe I needed to hear it. Probably I needed to hear it, if I'm guessing. But it's fitting, as always, that I'm driving down the road here. But this lesson made me think about, it's no coincidence in your vehicle that your windshield, I can't think of the word this morning, your windshield is much, much bigger than your rear view mirror, and it's much bigger than your side view mirrors or your side windows. The reason for that is I'm supposed to keep my eyes looking out my windshield, looking at where I'm going. I'm not supposed to be fixated on what's in the rear view mirror or what's in any of the side views or the side. Yes, they're there for a purpose and they're functional, and I can glance up and use them. That's what they're for. They're a tool. But my main focus is always on what's in front of me. So, as I was led this morning, I went to the book of Matthew and was reading about when Jesus walked on water. He sent the disciples out. They had just fed the 5,000 with 5 loaves and 2 fish. The disciples had just witnessed that miracle. And Jesus said straightway, get in the boat, go to the other side while I send these people away. And after he sent the people away, he went up to pray, and he noticed that a storm had come. And the disciples were being tossed to and from in the boat. This was very much like the first storm that we read about when Jesus was asleep in the front of the boat and the disciples got scared. There's something I want to point out about these storms. I assume these were pretty good storms for the disciples to have been so afraid for their life. Because let's remember what most of these disciples were. They were fishermen. So it's not like they were never caught out in a storm before while they were fishing. They fished for a living. I imagine they got caught out in the storm quite a bit. So I must assume that this was a pretty good-sized storm for them to be so afraid. But as Jesus was praying, he looked out and he saw that they were in trouble. So he went to them, and they saw him coming, walking on top of the water. Walking on top of the water. So, and they were afraid. They thought he was a ghost. They didn't recognize him. Important point. Waves are coming. This is a storm. Jesus walking on top of them. What does that symbolize to me? Well, Jesus is always on top of my problems. I'm down here worried about what's going on. He's up here on top of it, walking over, always over my problems. But as he gets closer, he tells them, don't fear. It's me. Don't be afraid. And Peter says, okay, I want to come out there where you're at, Lord. And Jesus says, come. And Peter walks out a ways, and then he looks around and he sinks. And God has to come save him. And then Jesus says, why, Peter, did you have so little faith? And what's the point? What does that have to do with what I said before? When Peter was looking out that front windshield where he was supposed to be looking, he was looking at Jesus. When he kept his eyes on Jesus, he was walking on water. He had power. He had the power to walk on water. But when he started looking around, look behind him in the rear view mirror, look to the side, out the side, that's when he got in trouble. He got distracted by his problem. His problem then became his windshield. It was the big glass that he was looking at through, not the small one. And it overwhelmed him. And he forgot what Jesus had told him. Jesus said, come. Which means Jesus said, you can make it here, so come on. Come on. Don't look behind you. Don't look beside you. Focus on me and come right here. And when he did, when Peter was focused, he was able to do it. But when he lost focus, no good. God always wants us to be looking through our windshield. Not looking side to side, worried about our problems. Because when we do, our problems will overwhelm us. Because our problems are here and they're present. And they're always vying for our attention. Whatever they are. Whether it's a problem person, whether it's a financial situation, a sickness, whatever it is, our problems are always present. You know, in this tale, this story, Jesus didn't calm the storm like he did previously. This time he came to the disciples right in the middle of their problem. And he didn't fix it. He just said, I'm here. That's what he said. Fear not, I'm here. There's so many times in our lives that, in my life anyway, that I just want the problem to go away. But that's not how God operates. But how he always operates. Whether the problem disappears, the storm is calmed immediately, or the storm keeps raging, he always wants to operate with you. He wants to be with us. Matter of fact, he says, I'll be with you as long as you want me to. It's when you don't want me to be with you that I'm not. Otherwise, I'm there. He's not undependable like your buddies are when you might be moving furniture or something. You know, hey, I need a little help. Well, I'm busy. No. Jesus is always there. And the only time he's not there is when Kevin says, I don't want you here. You may be thinking, well, why would you ever say that? I don't know, but we do. When we decide to go somewhere that we shouldn't go, or we say something we shouldn't say, or we fall out of fellowship with God because we make something else our God, whether it be work or another person or a hobby or whatever it is, we put that above him. At that point, we say, we don't want you here. But what he says is, if you want me there, I'll be there. Even in that storm. And I will give you the power, if you will focus on me, to walk on top of those problems. And they won't consume you. All you have to do is have faith. It's faith. Believe that I can do what I say I can do. And believe, here's the other important part, is believe that you can do what I say you can do. He basically told Peter, you can walk on water, but you have to believe it. You have to have that faith, and you can't be, it has to be a focused one. You know, you've got to focus. Pay attention. Look through that windshield. Yeah, you can look, but just for safety purposes. Not to focus on your problem. Focus on Jesus. And you can have power in your life. We all can.